I would never show up to Dan Bilzerian's party without 60 girls. I would be embarrassed to do so. And the guys in my program, they feel the same way. They're like, hey, Michael, what happens if you like supposed to go to a party and you don't bring any girls? I was like, I wouldn't go. Why would I ever go to a party that I didn't bring 60 girls to? The party's awesome because I'm there. The best team in the NBA is the one where prime LeBron was on it. The best party in the city is the one that I'm going to. That's the way I would look at it.
You roll up with a gaggle of 20 women. Yeah, I get it. I get why people think you're the man.
Yes.
How do I just get one?
Beautiful. So the thing is, what you'll find is a lot of guys who have trouble in this area of their life, they get friend zoned all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that actually you can use to your advantage. What you do in this case is like what needs to be seen for pre-selection. The woman doesn't have to be attracted. She just has to show some level of compliance. So you walking in with 20 girls, you're not sleeping with all 20 girls.
Unless you're Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah, but like I talked to Dan about this the other day, and it's the same thing with him. Like he'll walk in with 20 girls, and he slept with 6 of them, but he didn't sleep with all 20. He'll tell me, he's like, I didn't sleep with all 20 of them.
Yeah,
you know. But they'll walk in and he gets this high level of compliance. The first thing I recommend for guys to do is find 6 female friends that you friend zone. You friend zone them. A great reason is they're married. They might not be your type. I like very much athletic builds with large fake boobs. Like that's very much my type. If a girl doesn't have that, like she's kind of skinny fat or, you know, she doesn't have fake boobs or whatever, then I'm just not attracted. Right. I put her right in the friend zone. Yeah. And then now I invite 50 of those girls to something. I put them in the friend zone. Guess what they do? 3 things. They make you very comfortable being around women. Okay. They get you into every single party you could ever want, and they introduce you to more women. Those 3 things happen. Right. And then one of the other things I learned was, so I would go to these self-help conferences, and what do you see in there? Nothing but men. It's just men. So I started showing up to, like, I would go see Owen Cook speak, or I'd go see Ty Lopez speak, and I'd bring like 6 girls with me. You know what, John? Everyone wanted to network with me. Everyone wanted to come and talk to me. The girls wanted to come talk to me. Guys wanted to come talk to me. So I was like, wait a second. Maybe this pre-selection thing isn't just a cheat code with dating. Maybe it's also a cheat code when it comes to high status networking. I show up to Dan Fleischman's Model Citizen Fund. I like, if I don't bring 60 girls, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I would never show up to Dan Bilzerian's party without 60 girls. I would be embarrassed to do so. And the guys in my program, they feel the same way. They're like, hey, Michael, what happens if you like supposed to go to a party and you don't bring any girls? I was like, I wouldn't go. Why would I ever go to a party that I didn't bring 60 girls to? The party's awesome because I'm there. The best team in the NBA is the one where prime LeBron was on it. The best party in the city is the one that I'm going to. That's the way I would look at it. So I started looking at all these different things. So now here we were using pre-selection in order for like intersexual dynamics with men and women in dating. Then we started using it for networking. That's pretty cool. How crazy is that? And then here's the third thing that was crazy. When it came to sales and marketing, it was the same exact formula. It was the same exact formula when it came to like not needing it too much, absolute certainty. Sure. Absolute certainty is something that Jordan Belfort teaches, chapter 7 of his book, Way of the Wolf. And absolute certainty is a great way to talk to a woman sometimes when you're on a date. Like, it's so funny, like at the highest levels, you started seeing marketing, networking, and dating were all, you're doing the same things because it's like goal-oriented or persuasive level of communication. And so I'm like, man, all this crazy stuff, there must be science to back this up. And so we found scientific studies to back up some of these things. Dr. David Buss's 37 culture of like, he looks at 37 different cultures and he finds, for instance, this stuff is going to be obvious to you, but like in every culture, men are more interested in casual sex than women. In every culture, women tend to want men the same height or taller than them. In every culture, women are more interested in men procuring resources. In every culture, men are more concerned with a woman's body count than the other way around. In every culture, men are more concerned with hip to waist ratio, signs of youth, and facial symmetry than women are towards men. And so you find out these things are not cultural, they're actually genetic. And so we just take all this science, we put it into this program. I've had 800 guys go through the program right now, just almost 100% satisfaction. The guys come out of there knowing a very fundamental understanding of how to network, how to be a leader. Remember all the stuff I learned from the U.S. military? I make them go through like a Marine Corps, U.S. military, U.S. Air Force protocol of books that they have to read about leadership. You guys, you want to know the number? If you want to date,
what's the number one book in that protocol?
To me, I like either Can't Hurt Me or Extreme Ownership. Those are my 2 favorite. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins or Extreme. Can't Hurt Me is more of a motivation, but It's not motivation. Like it's obsession book. Extreme Ownership is one of the greatest books ever written. Okay. And then the third one is Gates of Fire. That one is incredible. It's about the Battle of Thermopylae between King Leonidas and King Xerxes. That is That is a great book. And the reason why people don't grasp what I'm saying is,
never read that book. I'll put it down.
It's fantastic. It's required reading for the U.S. Marine Corps. And so what happens is, you do all these things and you start looking for scientific proof and you start looking for experience and you start to see that all these people are doing so again, networking, it works like this. And then we look at marketing and then we look at sales and we look at dating and we saying, okay, these are very, very common things that are working. And then you start saying, well, anything that exists that's pervasive amongst Homo sapiens has to exist somewhere in evolution. Remember, we're studying evolutionary psychology. And so when you go back and you look at that, you start to wonder, like, what was it that our ancestors needed these things for? And that's where I came with a later theory for me, which is the concept that the ultimate goal or the apex for the performance of mankind is men accomplishing goals together. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Us working together to do this podcast or build a skyscraper or put a man on the moon or whatever. Those are the things, men working in concert with each other for a military engagement or to build a car or whatever. I think that is the apex of the human experience, is for humans to do that. And then along with having a family, I think that's the other part of the apex experience. But those things, it's like, because why? Because that's what our ancestors did in order to survive. There's a reason Homo habilis, Homo australis, Homo neanderthalis, there's a reason why they don't exist and we do. It's because we as Homo sapiens figured out how to work in groups in order to accomplish goals. And so then that became part of my program too. So it's leadership, it's teamwork, it's networking, it's dating, it's all those kind of things.
The tribe mentality is so important in all aspects of not just society, but even business. If you look at like Traction, which is the EOS system, which we run all our businesses on.
Yeah.
The big founding principle of the EOS system is that everybody in the company understands the goals. Everybody is running the boat the same way. So it's that shared accomplishment that you have within that tribe mentality that's important. So I see that.
But here's the other thing. If you want 70 or 80 girls to show up to somewhere, it's actually the same thing. Like, it's funny. I was a captain on my football team and I was, sometime mission commander on a mission. And then I was also I host, I didn't mention this before, I've hosted about 50 bikini competitions so far. I host the 3 biggest ones in Las Vegas, and I host the 3 biggest in the world, which is Wet Republic's Girls of Summer, the Paradise Challenge in Jamaica, and then the Swimsuit USA's World Championship in Cancun. Those are the 3 biggest bikini competitions in the world. So I host all, I'm the MC.
You're like the Ryan Seacrest of thongs.
Right, exactly. But you want to know something? When I talk to the other defensive linemen, and I try to hype them up before we went to out to play football, it's the same voice, tenor, and pitch, like Ray Lewis right before the game starts. You know what I'm saying? No tool shall be formed against us, and he's like pushing guys. It was the same thing when I talked to the girls at the bikini competition, and they loved it. And the crazy thing is, the people who were organizing the competition were like, I understand why he's different. And the girls never questioned anything I did. They showed up on stage. They were always on time. And it was really one of these things where I didn't treat them like kids. I treated them like fucking military, like NCOs.